Bernie Sanders, the 17th Amendment, and a Mousekateer are all on this day. Welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is April 8th, 2022. It is the 98th day of the year. There are 267 days left in this year. It's the 14th Friday in the 15th week and the 20th day of spring. You got 74 days left until summer. And if you're a school student, like I was once many years ago, summer's always great. They just never seem to last the 3 months that I always thought they would. You know, it's always like a week shy of being 3 months. As I got older, I found out some kids, they had some weird schedule where they'd have like 3 weeks at the beginning of the summer and 3 weeks at the end of the summer, but they went to school. It was weird schedules. I like to keep it basic. 9 months of school, 3 months off. If today's your birthday, you're an Aries. Today is National Zoo Lovers Day. I am a zoo lover. I donate to our local zoo. I'm a season ticket holder, as they call it. I love the zoo. I know a lot of people think that it's bad, but the zoos do a lot of good besides education, and they do research on their animals. There's a lot of good that comes out of it. It does suck that animals are stuck in cages. I wish they could all have bigger cages at least, but we do what we can. National Zoo Lovers Day encourages us to explore our local zoos. Each year, millions of people visit zoos and learn about the many animals that live there. Also known as zoological parks, many of them serve as breeding centers. These facilities are relied upon when species are endangered or at risk of becoming endangered. So that is one bonus. I do know that sometimes when, an animal's about to be wiped out completely, the zoos will take in whatever they can and start a breeding program. It's not just zoos. There's different kind of rescue organizations too that do this. In the end, I guess we all hope that a lot of good comes out of zoos. All right, let's see what else April 8th has given us. 1832, the Black Hawk War. Around 300 United States 6th Infantry troops leave St. Louis, Missouri to fight the Sioux Native Americans. 1906, August Dieter, the first person to be diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, dies. 1908, Harvard University votes to establish the Harvard Business School. 1913, the 17th Amendment to the United States Constitution requiring direct elections for senators becomes a law. Prior to this amendment, the state legislatures appointed senators. Opponents of this process felt that it was undemocratic because the people didn't get a voice. There was no voting on this. Only the state representatives did. The old appointing system had problems, like in 1895 when Delaware was deadlocked. Their state representatives couldn't break the deadlock, so their seat in the Senate remained vacant for 2 years. Oregon was the first state to put it to the popular vote, and by 1912, over half the states had reformed this process in one way or another. In May of 1912, Kansas Senator Joseph Bristow introduced a Senate resolution to amend the Constitution, and on April 8, 1913, the 17th Amendment was ratified. These days, the only time a senator is appointed is when the state law requires that the governor pick a replacement for someone who, let's say, passed away, or like in Barack Obama's case, he was elected to the White House. He's the president of the United States, and the Illinois governor had to pick someone to replace him in the Senate. This is interesting on its own. That governor was convicted of trying to sell that seat, which is definitely in the realm of corruption. 1935, the Works Progress Administration is formed when the Emergency Relief Appropriation Act of 1935 becomes law. This was part of President Roosevelt's New Deal plan. Actually, it was part of the second New Deal plan. And this stayed around until 1943 when it was dissolved. This program, administration, basically created millions of jobs for Americans that were hurting during the Great Depression and put them to work in infrastructure programs, building roads, rails, bridges, whatever they could. 2008, the construction of the world's first skyscraper to integrate wind turbines is completed in Bahrain. 2010, U.S. President Barack Obama and Russian President Dmitry Medvedev, I know I said that wrong, I'm sorry, signed the New START Treaty, spelled Medvedev, Medvedev? I don't know. We're moving on. 2020, the United States presidential election. Bernie Sanders ends his presidential campaign, leaving Joe Biden as the Democratic Party's nominee. Now, Bernie Sanders is a very interesting character. In my personal opinion, I think he's one of the only people that truly just wants the United States and the people to be better off. That's the vibe I got. I don't know him personally. It could be all a big sham. Who knows? I mean, and I'm sure all the conspiracy people will say, oh, Bernie's just this horrible person. But what's amazing about about him is he's an independent and he considers himself a democratic socialist. And he did very good in both of the elections he was involved in for the presidency. He came really close to being the nominee, but Hillary Clinton got it and lost to Donald Trump. Then he became very close to being the nominee again, but decided to step back and let Joe Biden take it. Very interesting time in United States history when an independent that is pretty much a democratic socialist almost becomes the president. Happening now, Ketanji Brown Jackson makes history as the first black woman on the Supreme Court. Yes, that happened today, which when you're watching this, it'll happen yesterday because I do this the day before. But yeah, we have our first black woman on the Supreme Court of the United States. Jackson was confirmed by a vote of 53 to 47. Every single Democrat voted for her. And then when it came to Republicans, Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, Susan Collins from Maine, and Mitt Romney from Utah voted to confirm her. Here's an interesting fact. The Supreme Court was established in 1789. 108 of the 115 justices have been white males. Movies released on April 8th, 2005, Fever Pitch. This was a cute movie. I mean, I wouldn't go out of my way to see it, but if it's on HBO and you're sitting there with nothing else to watch or on Netflix, it's worth it. It stars Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore. It's a love story, romantic comedy, whatever you want to call it, about a diehard baseball fan named Ben, who's Jimmy Fallon, and a workaholic named Lindsay, who's Drew Barrymore, and they're the perfect couple until the Red Sox start losing. The blurb for it says, Ben is put through the ultimate test of choosing his first love or the first love of his life. Basically, she kind of puts the kibosh on him being obsessed with the Red Sox, and she can't take it, and he's in love with her, and he's been a huge fan since, I don't know, birth. It's a cute movie. Born on April 8th, 1968, Patricia Arquette. She's a longtime actress who starred in True Romance and appeared in the 1997 film Lost Highway. She was the star of a TV show called Medium about a psychic lady, and it was really good. I really enjoyed that. Me and my wife used to watch it all the time. And of course, she is the sister of Rosanna Arquette, who was big in the 80s and 90s. They have a brother that's an actor too called David Arquette. She met Nicolas Cage at Cantor's Deli in Los Angeles. He proposed to her later that same day. They were married from 1995 to 2001. Normally, when something strange like that happens, it's annulled within a year or maybe even a couple months, but they stayed together for 6 years. I mean, sure, it's horrible they didn't stay together for life, but that's a long marriage for someone that you just met at a deli counter and proposed that same day. That's weird. Died on April 8, 2013, we lost Annette Funicello. She was a former Mousekateer who starred in Beach Party and How to Stuff a Wild Bikini, The Pineapple Princess, Tall Paul. She was in all kinds of things. She was on contract with Disney for a very long time. She did all kinds of Disney movies. She was big in the 1960s and I guess the 70s a little bit, but she kind of faded away and really just became known for her time as a Mouseketeer on the Mickey Mouse Club. In early 1987, when she was about 45 years old, Funicello reunited with Frankie Avalon, who was like the heartthrob back when she was doing movies and all that, and they did a bunch of movies together. They did some promotional things for a movie called Back to the Beach. She started not feeling well, headaches, lost her balance, dizziness, things like that. She was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. She kept her diagnosis private, and over the next few years, people started noticing there was a problem, and rumors got out that she was a hardcore alcoholic, and that's why she couldn't function, and she was just a mess, pretty much. And that's what they thought. They thought she was just a drunk. Well, she finally came out and told everyone what it was to combat the rumors that she was an alcoholic. In 2004, she lost the ability to walk, and around 2009, she lost the ability to speak, and eventually was on a feeding tube. And sadly, on April 8, 2013, Funicello died at the age of 70 in Bakersfield, California. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a productive day, and be nice to each other.